911, what's the address of the emergency? My husband's not breathing. He's cold. Okay, what's the address?
In the early morning hours of March 4th, 2022, in Kamas, Utah, a woman calls 911 from a house where 3 children are asleep. Her husband is in their bed. He is 39 years old. He is already cold. 1 year later, that same woman sat on a morning television couch in Salt Lake City, holding a children's picture book she had written. A book about a boy whose father watches over him from the clouds.
This book on the different emotions and grieving processes that we've experienced last year. And
4 years after that morning, a jury in Summit County would take 15 days of testimony to decide which of those 2 women was real. Kouri Richins was a father of 3 boys. He co-owned a stone masonry business. He had grown up working on his family's cattle ranch, and he hunted every season he could. His wife, Kouri, ran a real estate company. From the outside, the business was a success story. On paper, it was something else. Prosecutors would later tell the jury that on the day Kouri Richins died, his wife owed more than $4.5 million to more than 20 different lenders. Her bank accounts were exhausted. Her credit was exhausted. She had been taking out new loans, including payday loans, to service the loans she already had. In the 5 months before Kouri's death, her accounts recorded more than 200 overdraft transactions, totaling over $300,000. And there was one deal that was supposed to fix all of it: a sprawling, abandoned mansion in Midway, bought at a bargain price to be flipped for millions. Kouri was part of it. On the last day of his life, he was out at that property, spreading gravel. By the winter of 2022, Kouri Richins had told people close to him what should happen if he died suddenly. More than one of them remembered the same name. 3 weeks before Kouri died, something happened that no one recognized at the time. Carmen Lauber cleaned houses. She worked for a cleaning company owned by Kouri Richins' aunt, and she had cleaned the Richins' home. The 2 women had known each other for nearly 9 years. Kouri Richins also knew that Carmen Lauber had a criminal history involving drugs. On February 11th, 2022, prosecutors say pills were purchased at a gas station in Draper. 3 days later, on Valentine's Day, Kouri Richins bought a sandwich from the Mirror Lake Diner and left it for her husband. Then she drove an hour out of Kamas and met a man named Robert Josh Grossman at 11:33. Kouri Richins became violently ill that night. He survived. A week or 2 later, a friend of his wife's was sitting with the couple when Kouri said something out loud, half joking, that Kouri had tried to poison him. The friend testified about what happened next. Kouri Richins got defensive. She said no, it had been an allergic reaction. It wasn't dramatic at all. 2 weeks before that Valentine's dinner, prosecutors say a life insurance policy had been taken out on Kouri Richins by fraud and by forgery. 17 days after the sandwich, Kouri Richins would be dead. But first, there was one more thing on the calendar: a trip. On December 7th, 2021, 3 months before Kouri died, Kouri Richins booked a Caribbean trip for herself and Josh Grossman. For April, March 3rd, The boys go to bed. At 7:22 that evening, Josh Grossman sends Kouri Richins an image of two people kissing, captioned, "Love you." At 8:36, she replies, "Love you." Then she makes her husband a drink, a Moscow Mule, and carries it to their bedroom. He drinks it on the bed. She leaves the room.
Is there any, animals that sleep in the bedroom with him?
Yeah, my dog.
The dog on the bed with him?
Most of the time. He's like a 10-pound, little floofy.
Okay, was he...
With Eric every day.
Was he on the bed when you came in?
Was he on the bed?
No, he wasn't in there when I came in.
Okay.
Is your dad on the way, Katie? I don't
know. He called me, and I just screamed, and everyone woke up, and then we're here. I don't think he can even function, Kouri. I'm trying to find someone to go with. Oh, my dad's almost here. Oh
my God, I can't tell him, Katie. I can't do it. I'll do it. I don't. It's fine. He was fine.
I'll do it. My sister's almost here.
Can you just please explain to them the process?
Yeah.
That they can't pass the threshold until it's really...
What you're doing? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Was that what you're doing, standing there?
Yeah, I thought you were seeing if I was gonna pass out or something.
No,
And
that too,
I'm so shaky. I think I'm gonna stay sitting until I will go.
Why do you have that stuff on his nose? It was what is that?
So, like I said, I'm not a medical personnel person, but what the ambulance said was he did have blood in his mouth.
I saw all the blood.
So,
She returns at about 3 in the morning. She would later describe what she found. He was cold, stiff, pale. His mouth was open. At 3:06, her phone is unlocked. Beginning at 3:08, her phone travels 243 feet through the house. The 911 call comes 15 minutes later.
Scott, let's give this a try.
911, what's the address of the emergency? My husband's not breathing. He's cold. Okay, what's the address? 282 Willow Court. 282 Willow Court? Uh-huh. Okay, what's the good phone number in case we get disconnected? 435 671 1987. Okay, is this going to be in Francis? Okay, tell me exactly what happened. I don't know. I just came in. I was sleeping with my kids. Okay, I can't understand you. I need you to take a deep breath. What's going on? I don't know. I was sleeping in with my kids. I just came in our bed, and I turned over, and he's just cold. He's just cold. Who's cold? My husband. I turned the light on. And he's not breathing? No. He's not breathing? No. I need you to confirm it for me. Is he not breathing? No. Okay, can you do CPR? No, I don't know how. You don't know? I'm going to tell you how to. Are you willing to do CPR? Yeah. Okay. If there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
Paramedics arrived. Eric Richins was pronounced dead in his own bedroom. The autopsy and toxicology report would find fentanyl, several times a lethal amount in his blood, and more of it still in his stomach. The medical examiner's finding did not by itself name anyone. What it did was start a 14-month investigation into where those pills came from.
Shock. And we have 3 little boys, 10, 9, and 6. And, my kids and I kind of wrote this book on the different emotions and grieving processes that we've experienced last year. And, hoping that it can kind of help other kids, deal with this and kind of, find happiness some way or another.
And to make sense and process, I'm
Yes.
sure. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you felt that going through and trying to explain it and articulate it for you and your boys.
Yes, exactly. And so I've done, I'm new to all of this, so kind of doing, research and reading books and things to try and understand, not only how to grieve as a widow, as a wife, but also, with my kids, how to help them understand what just happened. And what I have kind of found is, as I mentioned, it's kind of the 3 C's is how I visualize it, and it's, connection, continuity, and care.
In March 2023, 1 year after her husband died, Kouri Richins published a children's picture book about grief. On the cover, a small boy runs beneath a cloud. Above him, a father with angel wings. The title is a question. Are you with me? She took it on morning television and read it to an audience of parents. She talked about connection, about continuity, about how to help children cope with loss. At trial, a detective was asked about the messages between Kouri Richins and the people who produced that book. Whether they were a ghostwriter, he answered, yes. Weeks after that interview aired, detectives came back to the house with handcuffs. The 2 women who had sat on that couch with her would learn what their guest had been charged with, the same way everyone else did, on the news. The trial opened in February 2026. The state's case was not built on a single piece of evidence. It was built on a sequence. The debt, the insurance policy taken out by fraud and forgery, the pills, the sandwich, the drink, and the 15 minutes between the phone unlocking and the 911 call. The defense argued something simpler, that Eric Richins used illicit pills himself, and that this was his own overdose. The 2 sides fought over what the jury would be allowed to hear. More than once, the judge had to stop them.
Reads further down in the preliminary hearing transcript, counsel asks...
You know I don't have that ability, so if you could cite me to it.
Oh, do you not have... I'm sorry.
No. I don't have control over what they're showing me.
I can email it.
If there's a docket entry you want me to look at, I know that it's in the docket.
Sure, it's page 61 that I thought was on your screen. It's on my screen.
So
It is now, yeah.
So at the bottom of page 60, I guess we just read from the middle of page 60.
60, line 15 through 25.
Correct. If
Yeah.
the court keeps reading to the top of page 61, Kouri Rice says he has no idea what Red Devils were.
Then the state introduced a document the defendant had written herself. Not in 2022, in jail. Investigators called it the Walk the Dog letter. In it, prosecutors said, Kouri Richins laid out an account for her family to follow, that the fentanyl had been obtained for Eric at his own request. Her brother was asked to testify to it.
Page 1. Walk the dog, but take vague notes so you remember. Here is what I'm thinking, but you have to talk to Ronnie. He would probably have to testify to this, but it's super short, not a lot to it. He will need to tell Sky at the meeting next week. Upon information and belief, just like they say, a year prior to Eric's death, Ronnie was over watching football one Sunday, and Eric and Ronnie were chatting about Eric's Mexico trips. Eric told Ronnie he gets pain pills and fentanyl from Mexico from the workers at the ranch. Not to tell me because I would get mad, because I always said he just gets high every night and won't help take care of the kids. There are pictures in my phone of Eric passed out on the floor or in the chair. Ronnie should have texts from Eric talking about getting high as well. Eric told Ronnie he keeps them in an allergy pill bottle in his work truck so I wouldn't find them. Ronnie never told me about the conversation. Eric finally...
The prosecutor's answer in closing was one sentence long. On the night her husband died, Kouri Richins did not tell the dispatcher that she had bought fentanyl for Eric. She did not tell the paramedics. She told her family a year and a half later, from a jail cell.
Right.
And
so that person's probably going to be brought in.
which is perfect, because you know what I told that person?
Which is...
I don't want to fill out the packet. I don't want absolutely anything. I want to walk away clean and free. I don't want anything. And she kept advising me, no, that's not how this works. You have to fill this out about da-da-da-da. And I said, I don't want to. I don't want any of it.
Yep.
That is what I told that lady. I said, I just want these done. And she argued with me. Forever. I took the packet, I threw it away. I'm like, no, I won't fill this out. Because I don't want to have everything.
I mean, right. So that's perfect and works in favor for you for everything.
Yep.
Nothing,
Yeah,
you know?
I'm just like so fucking annoyed by it though. Like, quit portraying me to be this person.
There was also a notebook, orange. In it, in her own handwriting, was her version of that night. That she jumped out of bed, ran, turned on the lights, grabbed her phone, and called 911. The phone records did not agree, and the body cam did not agree either. The jury left the room to decide.
They went to school.
When detectives executed that warrant, did they recover an orange notebook from a nightstand in the master bedroom on Kouri Richins' side of the bed?
Yes.
Scott, Exhibit 2-66, please. You just scroll through that real quick.
Now, you were not permitted access to the house until after Kouri had been arrested, right?
No, that's not correct.
You got in the house before she was arrested?
No, that is not correct.
Okay, help me out.
The house was released by the Summit County Sheriffs on the 8th. That's what gave us, that was the trigger, not Kouri's arrest. It was the end of their search that triggered our access to the house.
Okay.
The police were executing a warrant.
Do you know when Kouri was arrested, sir?
I don't recall the exact date or time.
Would it surprise you to be the day before May 7th?
Okay.
All right. So...
Objection, Your Honor, foundation on that.
Would you re-ask the question, Ms. Nestor?
Sorry. Was it May... Would it surprise you if it was the same day, May 8th, that you got access to the house?
Or no question. Has the jury reached a unanimous verdict?
Yes, we have.
Would you please hand the verdict form to the deputy, and you can have a seat. Thank you. I'll take that. All right. Counsel, Ms. Richins, please stand. Count 1, aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously agree that the prosecution has proved the following circumstance or circumstances regarding count 1 beyond a reasonable doubt. The homicide was committed for pecuniary gain, and the homicide was committed by means of the administration of any substance administered in a lethal amount, dosage, or quantity. Count 2, attempted aggravated murder.
Kouri's selfishness and cruelty did not end with Eric's murder. In the time after Eric's death, Kouri has done nothing but isolate, manipulate, deceive, and do harm to those boys. Almost immediately after Eric died, she cut them off completely from our family, from Eric's family.
5 counts. Unanimous on every one.
Then she wrote a children's book about grief, went on a local TV show to talk about it, to talk about how she's helping her children move through it with the book. And you've got to imagine what it's like to be a juror on this trial. I spoke to Christy Halverson. Here's what she told me.
Probably the most impactful testimony for me was the undercover police officer, which is really hard because most people didn't get to see his testimony. They shut off the court TV as soon as they kind of connected the fact that he's still working undercover. And his piece really cemented for me the drug situation on the streets at that time. His testimony, the day he testified, was the point.
At sentencing, 3 victim impact statements were read into the record. They were written by Eric Richins' 3 sons. A therapist read their words exactly as the boys had written them.
The roles are to read their words exactly as they wrote. The boys want the court and the world to hear their side. This is from WR. I woke up to sirens, and there were a lot of people at my house, and I was definitely scared. I felt confused. I was in a bedroom with my brothers, and I didn't know what was happening. At first, I was really scared because I didn't know what was happening, and I had no control, and I felt helpless. I felt really overwhelmed. After my dad died, Kouri would put us in the basement while she was with the neighbor. I felt scared because I thought something really bad was happening again. She would take me to places that smelled really bad. Everything she did made me feel uncomfortable. When someone talks about Kouri, it makes me feel hateful and ashamed. She took away my dad. It's made me have a hard time trusting people. I was scared that Kouri's family would come to my school and take me. I had to go to counseling with DCFS in Heber, and I did not like it. DCFS made me talk to Kouri, and I couldn't do things that I wanted to do. I felt not important to anyone. I feel a lot better about myself now than I did with Kouri. I think Kouri should get a life sentence because what she did is very sick. Because it had no reason to happen and it impacted a bunch of people, including me. These are some reasons why I think she should have a life sentence. The information I feel is important for the judge to be aware of in sentencing. I think the judge should know that my dad was a good person and very thoughtful and kind and helped whoever needed help. He was always taking the extra mile to help.
The judge described the sequence he had been asked to sentence. A first attempt that failed, then 17 days of not changing course, but doubling down. And for what? Money.
Simply not possible for anyone, not even those young men, to know how their view of this case may evolve over the next several decades. My hope is that every person affected by Eric Richins' death will, over time, find their way to a state of peace. As for today, the court's duty is to make a decision, a weighty, long-lasting decision based on the best information available today. And the bottom line is this. Kouri Richins was convicted unanimously and beyond a reasonable doubt of attempting to murder Eric Richins, her husband, and the father of their 3 children. And then, having failed in her first effort of spending the next 17 days not changing course, but doubling down, preparing to try again, and ultimately...
Kouri Richins was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The book is still listed for sale online.